right, boys and girls, let's learn some more about text features today. So hopefully you've already reviewed using your boom card some of the text features we've learned. Our essential question: how do I use text features to locate information in a text efficiently? If I need to find out information, how can I use that nonfiction book to locate it quickly and easily? All right, our standard says to know and use various text features, including the ones we've already learned. We're focusing on glossaries, indexes, and we're doing a little review of table of contents, and then we have two more that we're going to learn later in the week. To locate key facts or information in a text efficiently. That means the best way possible. Okay, so let's look at our anchor charts one more time. All right, a table of contents can be found in most nonfiction text at the beginning of the book. Remember, the heading or titles of the chapters will be listed and the page number you can find it on. Most books also have a glossary. A glossary is a lot like a dictionary that gives you the meaning of the words. This is found in the end or at the back of the text. It will give you the words in ABC order and their meanings. And it's only the words that were used in that book. So your key words. Or an index. This is an alphabetical list, that means they're in ABC order, of the subjects or topics that were discussed in that book. It is also at the end of the book, usually near the glossary. Keywords are those important words in the text. These are usually bolded, that means in dark print. They can be italicized, using italics, that means slanted, or they can be colored or highlighted to make you pay attention to those important words. Sometimes an author may use headings or subheadings to help you understand what you're reading. The heading is a lot like a title for a particular subject. It's like a title found at the top of the page or that section that you're going to read about. It's going to give you the main topic. All right, here in this section, it's Today and Beyond. That's what the main topic is about. Now, below that, there is a smaller section with another title. It is not bolded. That is your subheading. That is a heading below the major heading. Think about submarine, subheading below it. And it's going to focus on something more specific inside that topic. Okay. Photographs and illustrations. Most of the time in nonfiction, you're going to have photographs. Pictures taken with a camera. Sometimes you will have illustrations. Those are pictures drawn or painted by the illustrator. But most of the time we will have photographs. Captions. This is text near the picture. Or, photograph. When I say picture, I mean photograph. Or the illustration that provides more information about what you're seeing. It can be below it, above it, or to the sides of it. Okay, and we will learn about icon later this week. All right, so we were reading a magazine article yesterday called Kids on the High Seas. Kids on the High Seas. All right, we figured out that high seas meant what? On the ocean. That's right. Kids on the ocean. All right, now a few things. Yesterday we went over the words, but we really didn't talk about their meanings much after we read. So voyage. What is a voyage? They went on a voyage. What is that? The voyage lasts 23 days. It's like a journey, a big trip, right? Yeah. All right. Wedge. Wedge. When they start talking about eating, it says, during meal times in a storm, Chris, Holly, and Tega wedge themselves onto a bunk. That's a bed built into a wall. Mom hands them bowls of food, and they eat slowly. When they are finished, Mom takes the bowl away and hands them cups of juice. It's too bumpy to hold a bowl and a cup at the same time. What do you think wedge meant? Yes, to put themselves in there tightly, right? Yeah, I think that's one of our questions we're going to talk about. The next word was skim. All right, paragraph 6. It says, at first, the middle of the ocean seems empty. All you see are water and sky. But if you look hard, you'll notice a lot. Even far away from land, birds skim the water searching for food. Dolphins swim under the front of the boat, called the bow. If you are lucky, you might see a huge whale gliding across the water's surface. Sooner or later, you spot land. So what does it mean for birds to skim the water? Yes, barely go across the top of the water. That is to skim it. Sometimes Miss Byers will say, skim your text. That means just kind of go over it a little bit, not read the whole entire thing. Look for the most important parts. So if that bird is skimming the water, he's looking for the most important part, which is the food, right? He's just focused on that one thing. All right, so let's look back. So we looked at some of our text features yesterday. We have the glossary and we have the index in here as well. All right, it says, number 1, look at the index. Which entry would most likely help you find information about who first sailed across the Atlantic Ocean? Sailors of long ago, parts of a sailboat, safety at sea, or sea creatures? So, which entry would most likely help you find out information about who first sailed across the Atlantic Ocean? All right, so if we're wanting to know about who first sailed the Atlantic Ocean, can you find that out in parts of a sailboat? No. What about safety at sea? No, in safety at sea, you would find things that teach you how to be safe, like wearing your life jacket and things like that. What about sailors of long ago? Yes, sailors of long ago would tell you who the sailors were a long time ago. All right, so let's look for that answer. Sailors of long ago. So our answer should be A. Sailors of long ago. Number 2. Use this glossary entry to answer the question that follows. All right, so this came from the glossary. Wedge, there's your pronunciation, edge, shows you how to sound it out, wedge. All right, the first definition is a noun. A piece of wood or metal that is thick on one end and thinner on the other. End. He used a wedge to keep the door open. The second definition is a verb, to push into a small space. The cat wedged itself under the couch. The third definition is also a verb, to keep something from moving by using a wedge. The window was wedged open. Underline the meaning above that best matches how wedge is used in the following sentence. During meal times in a storm, Chris, Holly, and Tega wedged themselves onto a bunk. All right, how is that used, guys? Chris, Holly, and Tega wedged themselves onto a bunk. Is that a piece of wood or metal? No. Does it mean to push into a small space? Yes, it does. They pushed their bodies into a small space. So it's definition 2, to push into a small space. They would wedge their bodies or push their bodies into a small space to keep themselves from bumping and moving around. Number 3, which entry in the index would most likely help you learn more about the information in paragraph 6? Which entry in the index would most likely help you learn more about the information in paragraph 6? We have sailors of long ago, parts of a sailboat, safety at sea, or sea creatures. So let's look back at paragraph 6 and reread it. Paragraph 6. At first, the middle of the ocean seems empty. All you see are water and sky, but if you look hard, you'll notice a lot. Even far away from land, birds skim the water searching for food. Dolphins swim under the front of the boat, called the bow. If you are lucky, you might see a huge whale gliding across the water surface. Sooner or later, you spot land. All right, that paragraph, guys. Did we talk about sailors of long ago? No. Parts of a sailboat. We did talk about the bow, but did we talk about any other parts? No. C, safety at sea. No. Doesn't talk about being safe. All right, sea creatures. All right, we hear about birds. What else? Dolphins. And what else? Whales, that's right. So it would be D. Sea creatures. Okay. now. Okay, when you're finished, you may go in today and check all of your work. Reread your story one more time for practice. And then you may submit your work for this lesson. All right, I'm going to have one more text feature search in a TPT link for you, where you go in and circle with the different colors, like the heading and the caption and the photograph. All right, for you to do to check your work. And then we will move on to finding some text features on the internet in the next day or so. All right, do your best job on this review page. Let me see what you know on your own, and then we will check what you know and move on to new text features. Don't forget to submit your lesson.